Hi guys and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin. Is Bitcoin at risk? Personal tokens on Ethereum and RippleNet brings credibility to money match. Now if you're catching this stream live, welcome. And if you're catching the replay and have any suggestions for us, please leave us a comment below. We really want to know what you're thinking. Now if you want to be up to date with the latest crypto-related news, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, hit that bell so you're notified when we go live. And if you want to keep on chatting with us once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. Link is in the description. You can also follow us on Twitter. Link's not in the description, but it'll pop up throughout the stream. So be aware of that. It's at the State of Crypt 1. You can join us there. Yeah, let's jump on to the news, right? We have 3 articles today. 2 of them are from Cointelegraph. The other one is from, I can't remember which other site, but we have 3 articles that we're going to cover. Happy Wednesday, sorry. Got caught up on the weekend. Happy Wednesday. Tomorrow, birthday stream. Awesome. Yeah, so we'll be here for that, right? Let's jump on with the news, right on. Like I said, the first one is from Cointelegraph. Does state Bitcoin at risk as IMF warns of worst downturn in 90 years. Now, the International Monetary Fund has published a stark prediction that the unprecedented global economic slowdown triggered by the Great Lockdown will get much worse before it gets better. With Bitcoin experiencing record correlation with traditional markets, the crypto needs to break away from the S&P 500, and if it has any chance of reducing the highly anticipated positive halving bull run. Now, on April 14, the IMF published its quarterly World Economic Outlook report describing the COVID-19 induced lockdown as the worst economic downturn in 90 years and predicting a total of $9 trillion losses by 2020. The report's growth estimate has fallen by 6.3% since January, predicting a year-over-year recession of 3% as economic activity retraces in more than 170 nations. IMF Director of Research Gita Gopinath, I guess that's his last name, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, said the prediction was based on the assumption that pandemic and required containment peaks in the second quarter for most countries in the world and receipts in the second half of this year, and said the growth forecast was a major revision over the very short period. This makes the Great Lockdown the worst recession since the Great Depression and far worse than the global financial crisis. The 2018 financial crisis saw a 0.1% global retraction in growth on 12 months from its outset. However, this current crisis has an imminent impact on China and India, and MF is more optimistic about 2021, predicting a 5.6% global recovery. That is a good rate of recovery. Now, the International Monetary Fund outlook for the global economy may comprise a negative omen for the Bitcoin and crypto markets, with Bitcoin recently producing a record correlation to the S&P 500. While it's unknown how traditional markets will react if the crisis deepens, the history of major financial crisis suggests they have farther to fall. And we know that we can get rises during recessions, right? It is not locked or set in stones that just because the prices are starting to go up a little bit does not mean they have to keep on going up. Yes, it's normal market cycles, right? We get valleys and we get peaks, and we get peaks as we keep on going down. Yes, it is a possibility that markets still go further down. However, we try to catch the peaks or the rises, right? So we exit near the peak or close to the peak. But again, people say that it's like catching a falling knife, and it is true. If you're trying to catch the market as it falls, you can get screwed badly if you don't know what you're doing. It is hard to do properly and gauge where you're going to get a bounce. Sometimes you wait for some retracement to happen with the fibs, and then you're hoping that you retrace a little bit more, and then you can take some gains as you try to get that retrace to go deeper. But if the retrace doesn't go deeper and you don't have an exit strategy, you're probably likely to get screwed. That's why exit strategies are very important. And if you're going to be trying to do one of these things where you're trying to like catch the bottom, make sure you have a proper stop loss and a proper exit strategy. That would be the safest thing to do. Don't just go in and try to like catch the end of the market, because you're going to get screwed badly. Now, you might gauge it wrong. You might believe it's retracing. In the end, it's a minor bounce, and then it goes back down. badly. So stop losses are key. Now that being said, yes, the recession could be very bad. Uh, like they say, it's affecting India and China, and they produce a lot of goods. Um, so a lot of the supply chains can be disrupted. Yes. However, some of these countries are starting, particularly China, starting to like reactivate slowly. So that gives us some peace of mind that the market could potentially start to recover sooner. We could see probably another dip in gold. I'm not sure yet. Probably another dip in silver. It's going to depend on how many people are start to use it as a safe haven. But during the last recession, they took about 6 months to kick off prior to to where we declare we were in a recession, right? So about I think it was 6 months lead time for gold before it started to reactivate. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 10. And the rest of the market started to reactivate after that, about a year and a half out. So again, not sure we're done with those downturns, right? We were calling price action to downside on a couple of coins on divergences that we created. So we weren't finding anything that was bullish. And, markets did go down a little bit more, and where we're at. Let's move on to the next article. I think we spent enough time on this one. If you guys have any questions regarding this article, they did have this chart. It says the Great Lockdown. I was going to show it quickly. The Great Lockdown 2020, right? This is what they're expecting to happen, right, in the United States, Euro, Japan, China, and India, and how they're going to recover, right? They're going down percentage-wise, like 8% in Euro area, right? Almost 8%, 7.7 inch change. But the global financial crisis of 2009, as you can tell, the drops were much less significant, mainly because China and India were not affected as much. This is affecting China and India way too much. Again, copper market is starting to recover a little bit because China is starting to import copper, reactivating in that sector. So again, some of the mining industry is not being affected as much because mining is based to a lot of things that happen in the world, right? You cannot have computers, cell phones, cars, kitchen, appliances, anything without mining industry. So a lot of people diss on it because it said there's this contamination. It is not. Unfortunately, a lot of the times, places where mining companies start, or places where mining industries start, right? You start with a mine, and then there's nothing there. But then all of a sudden, because there's a mine, there's economic activity in the area, and then you start to have people that live in those camps. And you have stores that start to open nearby, and then those people have kids, and then they start to have schools. And then this whole community and cities develop around mine sites, and then they start dissing on mine when mine was the thing that got them started, right? So again, just be careful with that, right? We should look at the whole picture before we actually start dissing something. Let's move on to the next article. Crypto entrepreneur sells 20,000 in personal tokens on Ethereum. Now, Alex Masmej, founder of a company offering loans against non-fungible tokens, has raised 20,000 after selling his personal token on Ethereum network. On a tweet on his to his 3,000 plus followers on April 12th, Masmej announced that the initial offering on his personal token, Alex, had sold $20,000 among 29 participants. The crypto entrepreneur promoted the sale in a blog post calling it the initial Alex offering, but originally announced in the offer that the Ethereum community, basically he announced it on the Ethereum community conference in March. According to a crypto entrepreneur, Alex is like a blend between a small income sharing agreement and a human IPO. Anyone holding his personal token is entitled to 15% of Masmej income for the next 3 years, capped at $100,000 distributed quarterly in DAI or an equivalent stable coin. Now, the question here is, how are you going to make sure that he's declaring 100% of what he earns, right? That is one of the things that I'm not 100% with this. He can have side incomes that are not being reported. You might not get your return. It's high risk. Masmej plans to use the funding to move back to San Francisco and begin finding co-founders for his mainstream-focused crypto startup. With his 20,000 raised, he says, "I can move to San Francisco with a small safety net to maximize my potential. Also, this crisis could lower my living costs cheaper." Now, human IPOs like the one Masmej offered are largely new territory in the crypto world, but the principle is the same as an initial coin offering by a firm. Rather than putting money in the company, which Masmej has not funded yet, investors are placing their hopes and wallets in the individual. So you're funding a person. 1 million Alex were sold on his initial token offering, only 10% of the total supply of 10 million coins. According to Masmej, there are over 100 holders of this personal token, many of which have become trusted advisors. The entrepreneur also promised investors voting in major life decisions, participation in his seed funding round, and exclusive sessions. Now, things that have this, right? You're selling yourself, right? You're asking people to give you money, and then you're going to share with them your income. Once you get it, right? Particularly in 3 years. But letting them participate in life decisions, like what? He's going to get married and people are going to be able to vote whether or not he gets married, whether or not he goes out on a date. I mean, what kind of decisions, life decisions, are you going to be able to partake in? Again, it doesn't seem like it seems like it's some shit. I'm not going to call it slavery, but it just not sounds very, very legit. I'm a little bit in defense of this article, actually. So I'm going to leave it there. I think it touches on some great area. Selling yourself for 3 years of your income plus some life decisions is not something I really particularly want to talk about. I'm not sure how that's going to work in the future, man. There's probably going to have some rules that are going to come in and like start a cap on this because it's insane selling yourself, right? Anyways, next article. RippleNet brings credibility and cost savings to Money Match. This is from the XRP Arcade. It is a website run by Leonidas. He's on Twitter. He's very active and he does very good research. He talks about Money Match, right? RippleNet brings credibility and cost savings to Money Match. Money Match is a cross-border transfer service that helps small medium enterprises in Malaysia pay their global suppliers. And since its official launch in 2017, it has seen amazing growth in both transactions and users. Now, Money Match first joined RippleNet back in April 2018, only to successfully conduct its first ever live cross-border transaction out of Malaysia on the blockchain in October of the same year. Now, Money Match attended last year's swell event in November, taking full advantage of the situation to grow, making partnerships with iRemit and MoneyNet International, or MoneyNet Int. 2 years since first joining RippleNet, Money Match is beginning to reap the benefits of RippleNet. And Money Match CEO and co-founder Adrian Yap shared these benefits in a short clip, an article by Ripple. It's actually a small video you can guys watch. It's on this article. It's at the end description. It says banks typically focus on larger customers who are spending or sending higher volumes of transactions and can afford higher fees. SMEs don't have much choice other than to accept these same rates, which adds to the cost of dealing with foreign suppliers. Yes, and they can add up a lot depending on how much money you send through. We work with Ripple to create an improved cross-border payment process that offers its customers better rates and faster transaction times. All the banks charge the same fees. That was explained by Yap. Anyways, they are happy simply generating these revenues instead of trying to increase market share by reducing rates. Why would they reduce shares? They're all charging the same rates. It costs you like the same amount of money, or they're going to be charged the same probably to send a small transaction than a bigger transaction. You're just going to make more money on the smaller transactions because you probably have more recurring smaller transactions. Again, part of the thing that we were talking about, right? Why would they change it if they're making money? They don't care about market cap. They care about keeping that income flowing, right? Anyways, they're simply generating these revenues instead of trying to increase market share by reducing rates. We believe that offering lower prices and a simpler way to send money abroad would really benefit SMEs customers and allow us to capture this valuable market. Our challenge was that we were a small startup from Malaysia, which is not a top-of-mind market for the rest of the world, and we need to develop relationships with banks and payment providers all over the world, but didn't have the required credibility or transaction volumes. Now, it was being said by Yap. Money Match overcame this challenge by becoming part of RippleNet, which gave the company fast and easy access to hundreds of global partners. With everyone plugged into the same network, the company cut integration and operation costs, allowing it to provide faster and more affordable services to customers. Now, RippleNet partnerships also help Money Match offer same-day settlement times. So again, by being part of this network, they're already accepted by a lot of the banks and other institutions that are running on RippleNet without them having to go knocking on the door, because it's part of integrated network, right? That's what is so good about it. You don't have to go and like burn face or like try to save face with the banks. You're just part of this network. You're already embedded by Ripple, and then you run from there, right? Anyways. After joining RippleNet, we're suddenly a credible partner for all these financial institutions and payment providers around the world. Like I said, Yap, a RippleNet introduction is more like a hug than a handshake. We struggle to find a decent European partner. We're stuck using the SWIFT system to make payments there. Working with RippleNet partners allowed us to cut our costs by as much as 40% instead of transactions taking at least 2 days. We're completing payments in just a few hours. Now, despite developing a cost-effective cross-border payment process, Money Match still had to convince customers to trust the company with their money instead of traditional, reliable, if expensive banks. Now, SMEs are rightly cautious with their money because they have to care about the cents. Gaining their trust quickly was not something we could hack. We had to earn it. We saw business start with low value transactions. Once we had their trust and they saw how much they were saving, these customers began making 4 to 5 large payments with us every month. Over time, they also appreciate benefits of the same-day settlements from helping this cash flow management to get basically better terms from suppliers, right? So again, they're going to become a key player at some point in time if they keep on doing this and know their bank in Malaysia is offering something similar. Now, guys, stick with us for a second. We're going to make this small introduction. We're going to jump on the technicals. Just let me play this through, and we'll be talking about markets in a second. We are back. Thank you guys for staying with us through that small intro. Now we're gonna go ahead and there's a Twitter coming out right now. We're gonna go ahead and talk about market cap. What happened yesterday? Money flew out of cryptosphere. We knew it was a possibility. We were hugging 20. We said it was a chance that we might try to touch it. We did touch it. We're booked below it. We're right now opening below it. We haven't gone back up to touch it again. There's a chance we could look at lower prices, meaning money flowing out of the cryptosphere in this case, right? And it was yesterday, $6.74 billion move to the downside, about 3.5%. Today going down 0.36%, about $666.3 million. Market cap sitting at 185.40 billion. Now, Bitcoin dominance. Yesterday, Bitcoin was dominant, 0.12%. Today, it's losing it's gaining, 0.24%. Sitting at 65.43% of market cap. I want to see this go lower. It's usually better for Bitcoin. Now, what's happening with the price of Bitcoin? It's sitting at $6,616.86. Remember where our entry was? 7,500. We didn't want to go in at that price. We knew it was a big chance. It could not play out. That I did trigger, right? Didn't trigger because we didn't get there. We know we're still below the 200. We know we're in bearish territory. And now we've saved approximately. We can go in at a lower price, saving money, right? Saving face. So that's what we wanted to do. What is the lowest we've gone? Lowest we've gone today, $6,456, guys. So about $1,000 below, right? Where do we hit? Oh, we hit a fib node here on this chart that we had. And we had this out yesterday. I just untalked fibs on this chart very much. I talk about fibs on the other chart. This is 100% right. I took it from the main drop that we had to the lowest point we made the following day after that drop, and then it bounced, right? So again, if we count that, we didn't hit that 50%. No, that 618 at 6,434. We know the low was 6,456. So very, very close to it. Maybe $20 off, but again, talking about thousands of dollars, we're close enough to where we can say we probably touched it and bounced from it, right? Now we are rejecting lower prices. Bitcoin yesterday lost value. We knew it was a possibility. We're flirting with a 20. Today moving slightly more to the downside, right? Starting to create negative momentum. And getting that cross off the MACD under the signal line. And neutral on the other side, 45.22. I'm going to look at the other chart now. Right, this other chart. Where are we at? We're heading to 382 at 6,394. We haven't quite hit that yet. But we know there's a chance we might move down and touch it. Now there's another chance, right? We might try to go up, hit the 20. See if we hold it. And if we manage to hold it, we could look for higher prices. But if we reject that 20, there could be lower prices coming in for Bitcoin. That's for Bitcoin on the daily. On this chart, we know we're range bound between the 50% and the 382, right? 6,394 and 7,181. If we move below that, we have some support at 6,240. But after that, we're probably looking at 5,400 or somewhere around that area. We'll probably manufacture some support around this area, right? The 5,800 to, let's see, 5,800 to 5,800s, let's say. But if we move below that, then we're looking at 5,400s, right? That's the areas that we're looking for to the downside. Again, positive momentum dying out, neutral on their side at 45.41 on this one chart. Awesome. So we've talked about markets now. Bitcoin on the daily. Let me do that again. Twitter going out right now for those of you guys that haven't followed us yet. Let's go and look at the 4-hour. What's happening on the 4-hour, man? What's the last thing we called bearish? When? April 14th. Yesterday. We talked about being on the 20, right? We were here. We were talking about being on 20. We said that if we go back and touch the 20, we could look for potential prices to the downside. We're broke below the 20, and that's precisely what happened. We're moving down. Right now, we're trying to recover, right? Probably on some diversions that we're developing, right? Let's see. Low, lower, low, negative momentum. More negative momentum. Low on the other side, lower on the other side. Not here, maybe in the 1 hour. We're developing some kind of divergence that is helping us pump a little bit more. Now, this is key, right? We're trying to bounce. We might go for the 20 again. We're getting tightness off the Bollinger Bands. Remember on the 1 hour we had tightness, so we might get an explosive move. I think we might have gotten it on the 1 hour. We're gonna be able to confirm it there. Right now, like I said, low, lower, low, more negative momentum. Negative momentum still building. Let's wait and see how this keeps on going. Again, it wouldn't be weird if we go to the 382 and hit 6,394, right? Sold on the other side at 37.40. Now I'm gonna go look at the 1 hour because there's nothing here I can chart yet. Right, everything's following the market. On the 1 hour, let's look at the 1 hour. We're creating some bullish divergence now. That's where we're getting the bounce. But again, last thing we had was strong bearish divergence. That was yesterday at 11 a.m. Right, we called it out in the stream. We're here at like 10 p.m. Right, this one here, trying to make our new rally. But again, we said if we fell to 20, we knew what was going to happen, and we fell to 20, and that's fine. Nothing more there. The divergence that we have is just on the MACD. Don't see that we have it yet on the RSI, and that is fine. Really, I'm not worried about not having it on the RSI. There's a chance we could still try to rally, fell to 20, seek lower prices, develop divergence again, right? Try to go slightly lower. Maybe here we can do a U-turn, go slightly lower. And as we go down in price, right, we create that divergence here, and then we'll definitely probably have it here on the RSI as well, and we wouldn't have that strong bullish divergence that we're developing, but now also on the price, MACD, and RSI, right? So again, on both of the oscillators being congruent, and there's a bigger chance of making a major move to the upside, right? Now we got tightness up Bollinger Bands like we expected, right? And moving to the downside, right? Explosive movement to the downside, sorta, not as explosive as we've seen before, right? Look at this expansion on the Bollinger Bands. Here we did get expansion, but it was not as strong. Now, Bollinger Bands are expanded, meaning there's volatility in the market, and we could get wild price swings, and that's usually what we look for. But right now, I'm concerned with this going slightly lower, create that strong divergence, and then maybe we can try to get a pump. Hey, Fatty, how's it going, man? Bitcoin back down to 5Ks. Not sure yet, man. I do believe we're looking for lower prices. I'm not sure if we're going to go to 5K. I did talk about a possibility of that yesterday, happening yesterday. Right. Look, it wouldn't be weird if we come back to 5,400s at some point in time. It's just going to depend whether or not we hold the 382, right? That would be a support that we're heading for. We are below 20. We know we're below that 200 simple moving average. I told you guys I was looking for an in at 7,500. That was on the 7th before I went off for a couple days. I didn't get that in because we didn't go above, right? And my entry point was 7,500, and hopefully exiting near the 200, which was at 8,050 maybe, somewhere around that line. Right now, let's look at the 200. We haven't looked at it today. The 200 simple moving average is at 8,028. Back then, it was at 8,127, right? Yeah, somewhere around that area. So I was looking for that price action to the upside and maybe exiting around this area, but we didn't hit 7,500, so I didn't trigger my in. Again, I'm bearish until we get near that, or at least I find a bottom. What I would like to see here is a double bottom forming. That would mean, or that would imply that we need to get at least to the 4,900 levels, right? So we can get a double bottom against this area here. And we could probably look for a, this is not really an atom looking, it's not really an Eve looking. It's just kind of like, yeah, we could call it an Eve if we consider this the peak, right? So we could consider this sort of an Eve, and then we could probably make another Eve or an atom on this side and try to get that bounce on the daily for Bitcoin, right? I'm going to go back and show the 20 because it expands the chart too much when I put it 100. There we go, a little better. So again, this could be potentially an Eve, and then we could look for another bottom here. Well, I'm not sure if we could go that low yet. I'm taking it a day at a time on Bitcoin, particularly right now, because the market is so, we're seeing a lot of indecision and it's a little bit volatile. That being said, I am expecting a little bit lower prices on Bitcoin. Like I said, maybe hit this area, see if we hold. If we hold, we could look for potential bounce. Probably try to get above the 50 again and maybe head towards that 618. But if we fail at this area, we're certainly looking for 5,400s, right? It's not out of the question. And it would be weird if we actually headed towards that area. We've just faced strong bearish divergence on the daily. We have strong bearish divergence on the 4-hour. And we also have, we had strong bearish divergence on the 1 hour. Right now we're creating strong bullish divergence on the 1 hour that could bring us a bounce. Like I said, probably head for that 20 on the 1 hour. Try to see if we hold it and drop from there. But again, that's what I'm looking at right now when I'm seeing the market. Again, your mileage might vary. You might be looking at different things. Sold on the RSI at 54.06. Let me play something else. Fadi, I hope that answered your question, man. Thank you for being here and asking about Bitcoin. I'm not sure who's watching it. It seems like a lot of people are like bouncing in and out of the chat. Or for some reason, sometimes it says current viewers 10, then it drops to 3, then it goes back up to 10. I'm not sure what's happening with this. It's a little bit off, I guess. But anyways, that's it for Bitcoin. I'm gonna move on to Ethereum. If you guys have any questions, please on the chat. And we'll address them as soon as I can, right? As soon as I look over and see your comment, which I do often, we'll discuss them. Anyways, Fatty, like I said, I hope this answers your question. And now I do believe we could be looking at lower prices on Bitcoin. Market cap, what's happening yesterday? Price actually downside, losing dominance, 0.31%. Today, gaining 0.05%, 9.07, not doing a lot, right? Sideways motion, like we said on Ethereum. Waiting for something to happen. Ethereum sitting at $152.28. Again, losing, right? Finally, yesterday we broke below the rising wedge, but not with strength, right? We would expect to at least hit a measure move that would certainly get us somewhere entry. Let's see where the entry is at. We could be targeting slightly higher than the previous low that we had, right? I'm gonna measure it here. So we could potentially be targeting again $96 to the downside. I'm not sure whether or not we're gonna get that. With Ethereum, what I'm saying is that we're range bound, right? We're range bound between the 159.76 and the 121.61. We've been bouncing on that range for a while. We know there's a big chance we're probably gonna be here. We're holding the 20 on the daily, which is good. Losing the positive momentum, neutral on the other side, 48.30. Again, going down. I'm not sure if we went down as much as Bitcoin. Ethereum went down 3.56%. Bitcoin went down, let's see, 3.79. So yeah, almost the same as Bitcoin, right? It just looks a little bit less violent on Ethereum because it's just sideways motion on Ethereum. Really not a lot happening, right? We're fighting with this area for a little bit. We just moved down a little bit more. Again, $5, not a lot. That's it for Ethereum, really. Not much happening on the daily. Let's go to the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, we lost at 20, right? We try to get above it once, 2, 3 times. We know what happens when we test at 20. We look for lower prices. We've managed to move down. Again, we're getting bounced, probably on divergence on a shorter time scale. Now here, we are creating also divergence, right? This would be 0.64. This is 0.47. We're going from negative momentum to less negative momentum, right? Slightly less though. And this negative, take with a grain of salt, because this negative momentum is still building. We can still go lower. It can get negated. But what we're looking at is we're going from a low to a slightly lower low, right? And again, this can still go lower, right? And that would create strong bullish divergence potential, price action to the upside. Now, moving up, could see us test 20. We know about that. There's a chance we could reject or go higher. If we go higher, we have resistance at 159, and then we have the 382. I think it's 382 we have overhead. Yeah, it's 382. $165.66. Now, what else am I looking at here? That's it. We're starting to create this, like I said, sitting neutral on their side. We don't have that divergence. We're going slightly lower, sitting at 39.53, being sold on the RSI. But we're flirting with that line between being sold and neutral. So again, all this can change depending on whether or not this tries to go up. If it goes up, we can try to hit the 20. If we hit the 20, again, talk about potential for upside, right? If we go above it, we reject lower prices, looking for that divergence to happen again. That's it for Ethereum on the 4-hour. Let me make sure I just left this on the 4-hour. Yes, I did. Okay, awesome. So let's go to 1-hour chart. On the 1 hour, what's happened? Low, lower low, more negative momentum, right? Unlike Bitcoin. So Ethereum basically is bouncing because Bitcoin bounced. It's not doing its own thing. Now I'm just gonna corroborate that on the other chart because it's gonna be similar, right? Low, lower low, more negative momentum. Again, incongruent. We're not creating bullish divergence. Last thing we call here was bullish. Price action to the upside. We did get that bounce. But again, Bitcoin went down, so it dragged the market down with it. And we know that Bitcoin is leading the tunes for the market, right? It's saying where the market's going to go. So again, getting that bounce, losing some price right now. Probably going to try to head for that 20, but it looks like right now that we might look for lower prices and create divergence here on Ethereum, and that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, right? Going slightly less negative momentum, going slightly lower, it would all be fine and still be slightly higher on that RSI. That is something that could happen. It's very real, and that could get us to bounce to higher prices. We don't have it yet. You know what? I'll leave that on, and I'll just make it blue for the sake of having it here and know that we talked about it potentially happening. There's a chance it might not play out, right? We might drop too much of the price, and this goes there, and then we're done, right? We don't get that strong bullish divergence that we're looking for. But right now we do have it, so I'll just leave it there, and we'll know we talked about it. Again, like I said, we don't have that strong bullish that we had with Bitcoin that's looking for price action to the upside. So again, if this is recurrent on altcoins, there's a chance Bitcoin might try to trigger price action to downside, right? Again, Bitcoin developing that strong bullish, Ethereum doesn't have it. And again, like I said, I'm waiting for this to go maybe slightly lower, right? And then create that divergence there. And that would be congruent with what I'm expecting for Ethereum, right? So I'll leave this here on Bitcoin as well. And then it matches with my Ethereum movements that I'm expecting for the market. Again, there's a chance from here we might as well go higher, right? And hit the 20 and maybe reject. Or hit the 20 and go above. Again, like I said, the market is showing a lot of indecision right now. So we've seen that throughout the last couple of days, particularly in Ethereum. We're just moving flat, just undoing, redoing, undoing, redoing. Then we drop because Bitcoin dropped, but again, it's following Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does play out to this tune, we might expect to see the same happening with Ethereum. I'm going to go to XRP. What is happening with XRP? Yesterday, gained dominance, 0.44. It did 20 and rejected. Right now, it's losing dominance, 1.12%. Dudes, Bitcoin is gaining right now, 0.20. Ethereum, depending on which chart we look at, it could be gaining or losing, but on the chart we were looking at, it's losing 0.39. XRP is down 1.13%. Again, not performing at its best, man. That is painful. XRP, 4.22% market cap. The price of XRP at 17 cents, 17.818 cents. Movement yesterday was 3%. Again, a little bit better than Bitcoin, but right now it's just losing a little bit more. It has not bounced as well. We're losing the 20. We knew it was a chance that was going to happen. We're looking for price action to the downside still. Tightness of the Bollinger Band is tighter than the rest of the market. Price action still positive. Neutral on the RSI, right? That momentum is still positive, but less. Again, we're probably going to get a cross of the MACD over the signal line. And then we might get one of these wild bars that come in and we could potentially drop even farther down. Now, something that's really worrying me here on XRP. Again, like I said, I would be looking for a price at least to 13 cents for a double bottom to form and maybe look for an entry there. Whether or not that's going to happen, still yet to be defined. This could still go lower, right, and negate the double bottom, right? But it could certainly give another entry point for a lot of people at lower areas of value, which would be good. And I would be looking for that again and potentially look for either an entry on my HODL bag, but more likely I would be adding to my trading bag because I would more likely be exiting the market as soon as it bounces because I would much rather take profit right now than keep on hodling. And that's just mainly because the way the market is, what's happening with COVID and what's coming in. I'd much rather stay liquid than just hodl an asset long term. I'd much rather buy it and sell and add to my position and make it larger so when this bounces off and goes to the moon, then I'm well set and I have much more on my bags. And instead of just hodling and losing value every day and then for some reason have to liquidate because you're illiquid and you need cash and have to sell at a lower point. So again, right now, it's far more recommendable to try to be as liquid as possible, mainly because all the uncertainties are in the market. Now, that is not advice. Again, I'm not giving you guys financial advice or anything. You guys do it yourself. Do your own research, but usually during times of uncertainty, you might as well try to keep more cash in hand. That way, if this goes lower, you get a better entry point, right? If it goes higher, then at least you're not risking your money, which you might need right now for other things. Again, that's it for XRP on the daily. Not much happening. Let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we called divergence yesterday. Or no, on the 13. We weren't here, so a couple days ago. Tried to get above the 20. We were here last night. We were facing the tune of getting above here. I think by the time we finished the stream, it was 11 p.m. So we did manage to go above. But we said there was a chance we could reverse. And lo and behold, we did reverse, right? We didn't go higher. We didn't use it as a trampoline. And we managed to go much, much lower, right? Rejecting 20. Why? Because here we tried to rally and failed and went lower. Now, 58, 66, more negative momentum. Lower on the RSI again. Nothing bullish happening here on the 4 hours. Look for more price action to the downside. On rejection of the 20. We talked about that yesterday, guys. Again, if you're here with us, you know what we're talking about. Sold on the RSI at 34.24. Let's go to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, last thing we talked about. Bullish price action to the upside. That was fine, right? That was at 7 p.m. We were here 10, 11. We still weren't going higher. Let's see what happened here. 20. 26 went slightly higher with more positive momentum. And are we higher on the RSI? 59.25, 59.85. Higher also. We didn't create anything bearish. We're breaking down because the market broke down, because Bitcoin broke down, and Bitcoin being a bigger part of the market, certainly helping, not helping the case with XRP, right? So it went lower, and that is fine. Now again, just like with Ethereum, we don't have a divergence, right? Low, lower, low, negative momentum, more negative momentum, low on the RSI, lower on the RSI. We're not getting that strong bullish divergence for a bounce. But unlike Ethereum, on XRP, we're much closer to actually going lower on the price and creating that bullish divergence that we need, right? That would mean going somewhere around there, maybe going somewhere around there, maybe. Again, we haven't moved too far from the longest point here, and somewhere around there, right? Again, this can get negated if this price drops a little bit more and this goes a little bit more or equal. So again, be careful with that. We can still have different types of divergence, right? We go lower, but we go neutral here, creating weak divergence. Or strong. That's what I would be looking for. Again, maybe medium divergence, right? If the price goes sideways and create less negative momentum. But again, this is what I'm looking at for the market. Again, you know, it's gonna depend on what you see. But for me, I'm really looking for this bounce because it will be current with Ethereum, with Bitcoin, and again XRP, right? So I'm looking for that congruency, and that would seem to make sense right now. Anyways, for XRP, if you guys have any questions on the chat, I'm going to move on to Litecoin again. What is happening with Litecoin dominance? Yesterday, it lost dominance, 1.50%. Today, it's losing 0.9%. Sitting at 1.35% of market cap. The price of Litecoin, $38.87. Now, we hit 20, rejected. Yesterday, we were at the 20, right? We were opening in this area. They were moving slightly higher, but we knew there was a chance we were going to lose it. We lost it again, breaking out of this rising wedge, movement to the downside again, could potentially see us hit that 20 areas again, right? Negative momentum, apparently. No, positive, 0.1. Positive momentum still there. Low on that RSI at 40.90. Neutral, though, but heading towards the sold area. Nothing else happening on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour. Last thing we called was bearish divergence, right? Hitting bearish. Price action to the downside. Just kept on building a little bit more. So again, we know what's going to happen. Price action to the downside. Rejecting the 20, right? Divergence at the 20. Dropping, right? Not able to get above it. We knew there was a chance that was going to happen. We talked about that. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Nothing else building up. No, lie. I do lie. We do have something building up. Now I'm going to make this yellow because we do have it right now, and it is happening, and it is playing out, right? We're going again. Low, lower, low, negative momentum, less negative momentum, creating strong bearish, strong bullish divergence, potential price action to the upside. On the RSI, we don't have it, we're going lower. Sold at 31.25 on the RSI. So again, an area where we could get a potential bounce on price on Litecoin. Now, a bounce would potentially see us hit the 20, and after that, we could potentially target to the upside. We might have some resistance at 43.50, and then a little bit more resistance on this area here at 46.57, right? But to the downside, if we hit the 20 and we reject, we could be looking for lower prices. And again, maybe create that divergence happening on the RSI as well. And then we'll take it from there. But again, that's it for Litecoin on the 4 hour. I'm gonna go to the 1 hour chart. I forgot to leave this just on the 4 hours. So let me fix that real quick. And again, guys, if you like what we do, you know what to do. Hit that like, that bell, that sub to be notified when we go live. Like I said always, right? Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining this channel and chilling with us and talking about crypto. If you guys have any questions, you can put them on chat. We'll reply to them as soon as we can. On the RSI, oversold at 26.96. Right? Negative momentum. Going lower, more negative momentum building. Again, unlike Bitcoin, which does have strong bullish divergence, it's really not divergence, right? Again, more or less the same low. We could technically go slightly lower. We could certainly try to target somewhere on there. And now I'm not sure about the RSI. I'm not sure we're gonna get it there. But again, I'm waiting for some kind of bullish divergence to develop here. I'm not gonna actually. It's too tight on Litecoin. I'm not gonna leave it empty right now. I'm gonna wait for this to develop a little bit more, and then really call it out. But low, lower, low, more negative momentum. Farther low, more negative momentum still. Again, congruent, right? It's congruency we're looking for. Last thing we called was this bounce on the 14th. We did try to get above the 20. We held it for a little bit, and then we lost it. Even though we didn't create anything that's bearish, right? We lost it because Bitcoin went down. And again, the market is following Bitcoin right now. Let's go to Binance. What is happening with Binance on the daily? Yesterday, it lost dominance, 3.46%. Today, it's gaining 0.22%. Sitting at 1.22% market cap. Again, really not doing much. It's Binance at $14.59. Is it good? Yeah, we call divergence, right? Price action to the downside. That was yesterday. We anchored there. Strong bearish divergence. Price action to the downside. We did move down on Binance. We knew that was going to happen. 6%, man. More, much more than Bitcoin and the rest of the coins. Right now, we're trying to bounce a little bit, 0.31. We did hit close to 20, and we're bouncing from that area. So again, we knew that movement was potentially going to happen. We talk about hitting 20 and using that support. Apparently, that's what's happening. Right now, sitting neutral on the RSI at 52.71. Let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, last thing we had was this divergence, price action to downside again. Here we weren't calling anything. We weren't developing anything, right? It was just ruined. Right? High, higher high, more positive momentum. I guess I did miss something when I was doing this. And Spotify ads, man. Dang it. There we go. Let me reset this playlist real quick. I'm not sure what I've played yet on this, but I hope this is different. I missed this one, guys. I think I didn't call it. Maybe because it was too tight. But it will be this one, right? We're going to a higher high with less, with a lower point on the RSI, creating strong bearish divergence, price action to the downside. And that was my bad. Sorry, guys. I missed this one yesterday when I was doing the analysis. We don't have it on the RSI, on the MACD, right? Just on the RSI. And that would really merit this price action to the downside, right? Control on the RSI at 45.73. That's it. Let's go to the 1 hour. Nothing else here. Low, higher, low. There's negative momentum. Higher on the RSI. All congruent. Let's go to the 1 hour. Man, I'm sorry about missing that one, guys. For reals. Last thing we called was bullish. Price actually the upside. We did get that rally lower, right, than the previous high. So nothing going on there. Again, nothing bearish happening. We're just breaking down because Bitcoin broke down. And that's the movement that we're getting, right? Most market is following Bitcoin. Now, low, lower, low. Here, it is following Bitcoin, right? Low, lower, low. Negative momentum, less negative momentum. Don't have it on our side. We're going lower. We're actually hit oversold. Sitting sold right now, 34.29. And something that I'm looking for, it would be just similar to Bitcoin, right? I'm looking for this other price action to the downside come in. This new small leg to develop. So there we go. And then maybe go from here to here, right? Something like that. And then from here to here, right? And create that divergence, and then we get bounce. Then we might try to go for the 20. Right, that's what I'm looking for right now on Binance. That's for crypto. If you guys have any other crypto you want me to look at, please place it in the chat and we'll look at it. Otherwise, I'm gonna go look at gold and silver real quick. we look at those on the daily, right? We call this divergence, price action to the downside again, breaking down. That's fine. This is still right away, still within the range of the of the 50% and the 382, and that's fine. It's trading within its regular level of $14 to $17, so nothing wrong there. Moving down 0.51%. Again, gold moving down very little right now, 0.08%. And again, we also had this divergence right against the RSI. I can't remember when we cut this one out. I think it was a while back, but we just kept on tracking it, and we're still building it, right? We've gone over 100%, and that's fine. We did talk about coming down and maybe retesting it, and that was yesterday. Lo and behold, we came down and retest the 100%, right? And we're bouncing from it. But right now, it looks like we're going to go down again, and it might be that we're hitting some resistance on this area at 1,714, and that's fine. I'm not sure when was the last time we were up there, man. To be honest, I think that was way back. Yeah, 2012. Do we have resistance? Let's look at that. Yeah, we could say there's a couple lines here. I mean, it wouldn't be bottoms, right? Like this one or this top over here at 1778 that we could be looking for. I'm not seeing many tops here or bottoms that could be gearing as resistance. We do have a line here. We do have bounces here on this area, right here, here, and here. But they're not bottoms. So again, we could be hitting some minor resistance. There's a chance we could potentially break from here and try to rally. Let me go back to the daily on gold. Again, we might break down, right? We're creating a strong bearish divergence against the RSI. But we know there's a chance we might go down on gold. So I'm looking for that right now, right? Unless we undo this on the RSI, which is getting a lot of strength right now. I'm looking for that down to come. Let's look at the markets real quick. S&P down 62.70. We knew it was a chance, right? We were creating divergence. We called out yesterday. Nikkei down 88. Same thing. Called divergence, right? It was very slight. We said it might not play out, but we did get a very minor move. 72 points to the downside. Toronto 229 points to the downside. We were calling it twice on this shorter term and then on this longer term, right? Again, price action to the downside. Coming in. Playing it to the downside, right? London Stock Exchange, same stuff. Here we didn't call it because we were struggling with this area, but down 162 points. Let's go look at the Dow and figure out what the Dow is happening. What the Dow is happening with the world. The price action to the downside. Yesterday losing 445 points. We talked about this small divergence. Remember yesterday we were calling it out. Price action to the downside. Lo and behold, we did go down. US 30 wasn't that low when we were talking about it. It was up here. And we said we could potentially go down if this goes lower. Yes, look, we gapped down, we opened down, and we lost some points. Today, it's going down still, 108 points right now. Right, in the live, 110, 109. Again, here we are. Chance we could go down yesterday, 505 points. Today, 111, right? Market. Chance we could go down on Dow. Right, yesterday was 445 on the Dow, not live, but the actual market bell opening and closing, right? That was this movement, right? Gapping down, opening down, losing some and then gaining some. That was a 455. Why are we gapping down? Why is it 400 when it's so tiny? I'll tell you guys. We open up here, we hit resistance. We talked about that also, right? 236, 24,053. We hit close to it. The highest we got was 24,040. So we knew we were hitting resistance. We knew there was a chance we're going to bounce or reject, and we did reject, and we moved lower again. But we had resistance, we had divergence created, strong bearish price action to the downside, movement to the downside of the market. Why is it so much that we're losing? Because the market should have opened here, right? If you would, this was your closing. You opened down here because you got down on the opening, because you lost market overnight, and then you still move down more, but then you gain some, but again, you still lost market. Again, that's it. US 30, I'm looking at this live. If this keeps on going down, there's a chance we could lose more market. Again, we have hidden divergence here against the MACD. Nothing on the RSI, unfortunately. And that's going to be it for the Dow. I'm going to look real quick at oil. Brent, we called it to the downside. Lo and behold, holding the 20. That's what we talked about yesterday. We weren't down here yesterday. We're up here. We're talking about moving down, right? We held the 20. Right now, it looks like we're going to test it again. Or we might go from there. But again, losing it. If you took advantage of this movement to the upside and you took advantage on what we're calling divergence, right? Good for you. I think we're here live when this happened, so we probably called it on the 13 or the 13 when I came back. Yeah, that would seem like appropriate, right? Probably call it here, and then we move down still. So again, guys, we talk about these movements. That's it for oil. I'm gonna look at another one, Brent on the U.S. right? The other one was a UK. This is Brent again, same price action downside, losing the 20. We talked about losing the 20 also. This looks like we moved to the upside, hit it, right? We actually did hit it. I'm gonna zoom in here, though it's gonna screw my chart a little bit. Look, we hit the 20, rejecting, right? Again, we knew there was a chance it was gonna happen, because we always talk about these things happening. Now I'm looking at WTI, West Texas, same stuff. Here we didn't go to the 20. We're just losing value, man. Again, the same gains we had, they were losing them. Even with the OPEP deal that came out, still losing value. Sold at 36.01 on the RSI. Brent is sitting neutral at 40.80 on this chart, and it's neutral also on this chart at 4.29. That's it for oil, guys. I'm not gonna check anything else today, unless you guys have any questions or you want to look at something in particular. Let me know in the chat. Otherwise, it's gonna be a stream. I'll thank you all for watching though and being here with us, and then I'll probably sign off. So I'll leave the chat open for a second while you guys come up with your questions, and we'll take it from there, right? Again, it's just a couple minutes. We actually closed the candle, so 5 minutes. So I'm gonna stay here for that. I'll just keep on chatting to you guys about whatever you guys want to talk about. So I guess there's nothing really going on in the chat, but I really want to. I'm curious about how we're gonna close this candle, man. There's just we could still pull back in the last 5 minutes. Right, I'm gonna go to the 1 hour. I'm not sure we're gonna get that pullback here. I think we might shoot for the 20 right now, and then test it and see where we go from there. That's what it's looking like right now, right? For Bitcoin, and you know, that's something that we talked about. That's why I left this on blue. I'm not sure if we're gonna get this divergence to come in. This is why we were so close to 20, man. It's not really that large of a move. 6,729, and we're sitting at 6,655, so less than $100, man. And Bitcoin has made those moves before. Again, like I said, Bitcoin positive 0.55% on this chart. Ethereum is positive now, 0.08 on the chart that we were looking at. In XRP is still negative, 1.17%. Not the best on XRP, unfortunately. Because the rest of the market, Litecoin is also down 0.9, and Binance is up 0.66. Again, not the best. Today might be another red day though on the market. I'm not sure yet. Like I said, some indecision going on. Might hit the 20. We'll test it from there. This is the other Bitcoin chart, right? This is the one we haven't been looking at. So we have this divergence going on. I'll just point it out here as well, just so we have it, and it gives me something to do while we wait for the chart to change, right? Nothing on the other side. That's it. 3 more minutes to go. Wouldn't it be good if we could play a game on this show? I'm thinking about a game that we could play that would make it much more fun. So, since copyright strikes, I'm not sure how many seconds I can play before I get a copyright strike on music, but if it can be very small, it could be the intro to a song, it could be, I guess, that tune. That would be really cool though, right? Wouldn't it be cool? What is this? What do you guys think this is? It's not a ball, I'll tell you that. I know where it came from, I don't know what the name for it is. But it's a question for you guys. This tiny thing with holes. You might have seen it before. If you are curious, you probably know what this is. You put it on the chat and let me know. I know what it is. It's a question. And it's part of the tester today, I guess. What is this little ball? It's on my hand. It's not a ball. It comes from somewhere. I know where it comes from. And I'll tell you guys when the stream is going to be done. Still waiting for one more minute, though. If you guys have an answer for that, put it on the chat. I'll tell you what it is. Close to the... before I sign off. Right? This tiny ball on my hand. What is it? Again, I'll zoom it in. You guys can see it, right? It has a... like a joint on the side. It has some tiny notches. It has holes in the bottom, right? Spotify ads are coming in. That means we're at an hour mark now. It's the 4th time Spotify ads come in. I'll play this one now. Again, what is this small ball? I'm not getting any answers, so I'm not sure if you guys know. But the market is about to close on the 1 hour, right? So we're waiting for this new hour to come in. And it's just going to take a couple of seconds, I guess. Look at what's happening here. Yeah, we closed up, so that's fine. Now we knew it was a chance we're going to close up here. This one hasn't really opened up yet, the new one, right? The 11 p.m., but this one did. And we can see that we did gain a little bit. That's fine. Anyways, looks like we're not going to do much yet. Starting to go up again a little bit. We might try to hit for that 20, like I said. And then there's a chance we could reject and create that strong divergence and maybe have it on the RSI. We have strong divergence right now, right? There's also a chance we could hit the 20 and go over it. But this is not looking very strong yet, right? It's not looking like one of these strong bars, right? On divergence that we created here. I have it on this chart, right? You'll see it here, right? Strong divergence. And we had it correlated with the RSI. Price action to the upside. But here we just don't have it against the RSI. That's why I'm expecting a rejection and maybe a bounce from there. Again, on this chart, price is going higher. On this chart, price is dropping right now. What is this all weirdness happening on markets, right? Anyways, this little thing on my hand is called a widget. That's a technical name for it. It comes on Guinness cans, and it is what gives it that nitrogen burst. Right? This ball is filled with nitrogen. When you pop open the tap on your Guinness, it releases nitrogen inside, and it gives it that thick, small foam on your Guinness beer. That's what it's from, right? Anyways, I guess no one guessed it, so 0 points for everyone. But tiny widget. Anyways, that's gonna be it for tonight, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like what we do, you know what to do. Hit that like, that bell, that sub to be notified when we go live. This is Dead of Crypto. I'm your host, Martin. It's been a pleasure being here with you guys tonight. This awesome Wednesday night. Tomorrow, birthday stream. I'm going to be here. I'm not sure what time. I'll be here, though, for sure. Maybe 10 p.m. as well. I'm going to celebrate on the weekend. I mean, who cares? It's quarantine. I'm probably going to be by myself and my family. We might have something tomorrow, a small cake, or I'm not sure. But anyways, thank you all for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are amazing. I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of the State of Crypto. Stay safe. Follow the rules of wherever you are. I hope your families are safe. I hope you guys are staying safe. That'll be all for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of the State of Crypto. Until then.